What's going on, everyone? So the other day, Keith Smith, who many of you may be very familiar with, him and Trevor Lane over on Lakers Nation, they do a podcast together over on the NBA front office. Great show. Check it out when you get some time. But he said 3 weeks from today, all 30 NBA teams will have opened training camp, and that includes the Lakers. And I am so pumped for this training camp. I mean, obviously, we have a great team, great roster, so much depth, size, versatility, right? It's going to be so great to hear all the news and just information that's coming out of training camp. Obviously, I will be updating us on all of that information as it comes along. But more than anything, it's just the idea of the competition that there's going to be. And Darvin Ham, he loves himself some good competition. Guys are going to be fighting for starting places. Guys are going to be starting, for rotation. They're going to be fighting for basically everything. And you have some really great matchups to kind of keep an eye on, right? You got some really great just opportunities for multiple players. I mean, there's a real argument for 12 guys to be in the starting unit, right? And how does Darvin Ham kind of, flush out the rotation and what guys play X amount of minutes, and does he, base it according to specific matchups and stuff, which is why I love this roster so much, right? I mean, you have Torian Prince, who, again, you can make a real argument for him in the starting unit. Does he outplay and outbeat, a Rui Hachimura and a Jared Vanderbilt, or Cam Reddish, right? He's a veteran 3-and-D style guy that could play multiple positions. He could play the 2 guard. He could play the 3 guard, right? Add some defense, maybe some stability in that starting unit, right? Do the Lakers go with 2 bigs? Right? You got to imagine that Darvin Ham is going to try all kinds of different sets, all kinds of different looks with various guys. How does LeBron, Davis, and Reeves respond with X player, Y player, Z player, right? Those are the 3 guys that you can guarantee are going to start, right? Reeves, LeBron, and Anthony Davis are the 3 guys that the Lakers are going to have in the starting unit. The other 2 spots, in my opinion, are wide open. Right? Do you play LeBron at the 3 and put somebody at the 4? Do you play LeBron at the 4, put somebody at the 3? Do you have AD start at the 4 and go with 2 bigs? Do you go with Reeves at the point guard, Reeves at the shooting guard, right? And like I said, maybe do a Prince at the 2, right? Or do you start, Gabe Vincent? There's so many different configurations in which you could do. I'm so excited to see this. Good, healthy competition amongst the team is great, because it always keeps guys pushing each other and playing to the best of their abilities, because they know at any moment this guy behind me could outplay me, and now he's leapfrogged me, and I want to play my 20 minutes. I want to play my 30 minutes. I want to play whatever it is, right? I don't want him playing 30. These guys are competitors. Put them in a competition setting and let them take their heads off and get ready for this regular season. I love it. I absolutely love it. And some of the key matchups I'm really looking forward to. Obviously, the Cam Reddish and Max Christie. That's a big one. But also, a big part of me kind of feels like both of those guys could end up being out of the rotation at some point. Because again, you could play Torian Prince at the 2 guard if you needed to. You got D'Lo. You could always slide D'Lo to the 2. Reeves is going to spend a lot of time at the 2. And your 3 and 4 spot just kind of seem like it's really locked up. So I don't want to go too heavy into that one. We'll see. Time will tell, right? And maybe I'll do a video independent on that. But a big one that I really am interested to see, Rui versus Jared Vanderbilt, right? Who starts, if either, right? And who gets the significant minutes? My opinion, I think the Lakers should keep cohesiveness in that chemistry of the starting unit that led you to a Western Conference Finals, right? That worked. That was good. I also think that based on this roster and the looks of it, right? Obviously, things change when guys start playing, right? Some guys have more chemistry with others. Some guys just fit better. But at glance, right? And we've seen it work. I also think that is the best complementary 5-man unit, You got your two best defensive guys. You got your two best shooters. You got LeBron that can do everything. And you got three guys that can handle the ball and make plays. I think that is a really good structure to have with your starting unit to kind of get out to good, leads and stuff. But Jared Vanderbilt, he's been working like a madman on just trying to develop a three-point shot. Does that translate? Or does he still need another year or so? Right? Like, does that become something? Also, do the Lakers end up getting his extension done? Right? If he doesn't get that extension, how does that affect his play? How does that look? Right? Does he feel like I need to kind of overcompensate and overwork to try to earn a bigger payday? Like, there's a lot of factors that go into that. And then Rui Hachimura, Rui's an absolute bucket. Like, if you took Rui's offense and Jared Vanderbilt's defense and you meshed them into one player, they might be one of, if not the best players in the league. I mean, Rui is an absolute bucket, and Jared Vanderbilt is arguably, if not the best perimeter on-ball defender in the league. You give me that with a guy that could go and drop 25 on any given night, and Rui Hachimura that could shoot pretty much anywhere. Like, I mean, that's the ultimate player, right? But the reality is that they're not, and they both kind of have very different skill sets in a lot of ways. Like, Rui is lower center of gravity. He doesn't have the lateral quickness that Vando has, but he's a guy that's just so sturdy and strong and physical. Although Rui has slimmed down a little bit, does that translate and allow him to move kind of quicker? Right? And he's had playoff success. He did it with the Wizards. He's done it with the Lakers. Does that can he finally put it together to where that translates for the regular season? Because you look at his playoff numbers, you look at his regular season numbers, and they're almost night and day. I mean, they are night and day, right? Can he kind of find that consistency that could lead him to where, it's like, dude, you got to play this guy. But in the same breath, you got to actually give Rui an opportunity, right? If he's just a corner three-point shooter and that's all you're kind of playing him as with the starting unit, then you might as well just have Jared Vanderbilt in the game. Right? Like, because at least you're getting the defense and, hopefully he can knock down at a better clip than he could last year. But if you're actually going to have Rui and interject him in a way to where he can actually run some offense through him, then sure, I absolutely think that he should start. But I think this is going to be a really good, really healthy, just kind of competition. Another big one, I think, is the one that has been kind of talked about since the moment he signed, in Gabe Vincent and D'Lo, right? Who starts? Who's the better fit, right? Like, there is a real argument that Gabe Vincent should start. He's the kind of guy that historically have been really good next to LeBron James. Those George Hills, the Deladovas, the Mario Chalmers, Norris Coles, right? Those kind of guys that just 3-and-D style point guards that, they don't have the best playmaking, but they can knock down the three, defend the opposing point guards, and allow LeBron to kind of operate on the ball, right? Now, does LeBron want that? Right? We saw him kind of have a little more willingness of playing within the offense. And with that, like, that really does open the door for Gabe Vincent, I think, right? And allows him to kind of, fit in. You kind of get that defense, right? You got the Gabe Vincent. Even if you do go Vando, right? Like, now you have basically your three best positional defenders, right? Like, that could be a way to go about it. I think Gabe Vincent, depending on the starters besides LeBron, like, who is that fifth guy? If you're going, say, Christian Wood, AD, LeBron, Reeves, I actually think Gabe Vincent makes more sense because at least you have a point of attack defensive guy, got a guy that can guard opposing point guards and even some two guards, right? You need the defense, in my opinion, right? And now you got three guys that can shoot 38% plus. But if you're going with like AD at the 5, with, like I said, like a Vando or something like that, then I do think D'Lo deserves that spot. D'Lo is the better player. He is. He's the better shooter, the better overall scorer, the better playmaker. The only thing that Gabe Vincent has over him is the defense, right? D'Lo is also bigger. But just because better doesn't mean best fit or best option, right? Like chemistry and just fit amongst the other guys in the starting unit is a real thing. But D'Lo was so good off the ball last year that that's why I really like him in that starting role, especially if you have Vando. Because again, now you have Vando who can guard the best player. Reeves is serviceable enough. LeBron kind of picks and chooses his spots at this point in his career, but Anthony Davis is the best defense player in the league, right? So you can kind of get away with D'Lo's lack of defense because you have Vando who's going to guard the best player on the other team. Austin Reeves probably takes the second best guy. And then you have Anthony Davis and LeBron kind of playing in that scout role, right? That free safety role and just kind of navigating through the game, right? But I am really just excited for this competition. I am really excited to see who ends up being the guy that pulls ahead. I really believe it's D'Lo's job to lose. Like, I think even if it's close, I think D'Lo gets the nod. But there is a real argument for Gabe Vincent. And I do like that Gabe Vincent is, he's a competitor, undrafted guy, has a chip on his shoulder, has a lot to prove, right? He's going to be going after D'Lo like it's game 7 of a playoffs. And I love that. Push him. Push him as far as you can. Right? Let's get some good, healthy competition. Let's get this worked out. Right? And then just Darvin Ham kind of putting different looks out. Like Christian Wood and Hayes, right? They're going to duke it out. Christian Wood, I don't see getting outplayed by Hayes just because of Christian Wood's versatility. But, kind of as the head coach, kind of push the narrative a little bit on some of these things, right? Kind of, encourage guys going after him, right? Like, hey, Christie, look, we can always move Reeves to the point, right? Always move Reeves to the point. Can go push Gabe Vincent, right? And take his spot in the rotation, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with giving a little nudge to build that healthy competition. Obviously, you want to build chemistry. You want to build relationships. You want to build friendships. You want to have good, healthy competition. You don't want to get to the point where dudes, are Draymond Greening each other, right? Like, you want it to be something that is actually, good and beneficial for the team. But I really do think that this training camp is going to be lit. And I think it's going to be great. It's going to be so much fun. But I'll keep us updated, and we'll definitely talk about it as it goes. But Darvin Ham, again, I don't envy him. He has his work cut out for him, trying to find minutes for everybody, trying to figure out the rotations. I expect a lot of experimentation, things like that. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Are you excited for that? Are you excited for the good, healthy competition? Are you not? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know.